Hi, I'm Patta from FreeFinCal, and these are 11 aggressive hybrid funds or the balance funds as they were called earlier that have outperformed Nifty 100 total returns index. So these are some results from the December 2018 FreeFinCal mutual fund screener. Every month I publish an Excel file that's a screener that has consistency results of mutual funds against various benchmarks. And I'm going to discuss one such result with you of 11 aggressive hybrid or balance funds that have outperformed Nifty 100. Now, usually people use a benchmark that has got 65% of Nifty 50 and 35% of bonds to study the performance of aggressive hybrid funds. But I have used Nifty 100 total returns index because I think there are many balance funds that are capable of beating indices like Nifty 50 and Nifty 100. So it would be nice to look at them and expect at least a return on par with Nifty 100. And so the reason why I do this is because I strongly believe that an aggressive hybrid fund or a balanced fund should be the core component of an investor's portfolio. That is certainly true in my case. That's how my portfolio is built. And so I'm going to show you some results. There's a video about how to use the screener. I'll link it here. So I'll just show you the results of the screener. So these are the 11 aggressive hybrid funds that I'm talking about. All are direct plan growth options. And if you look at every possible 3-year returns for these direct plans, so there are something like 700 plus 3-year returns from December 2018 to January 1st, 2013 when direct plans started, and the same number of the same number of rolling returns are also available for the fund and the index. So if you look at this, let's take Franklin India Equity Hybrid Fund. This was earlier called Franklin India Balance Fund. This has over the past 3 years bet the Nifty 100 total returns index 561 times out of 725. That's like a 77% outperformance. Similarly, all the other funds, if you look at the outperformance, they all have very good outperformance. In fact, Franklin India is the lowest. So I have chosen all the funds which have a rolling return outperformance of 70% and above. So that's the 11 funds here. There's also something known as downside protection consistency. So for every one of those 3-year periods, if you look at the monthly returns, whenever the index, that is the Nifty 100, fell down, we study how much the balanced fund or the aggressive hybrid fund fell. And if consistently the aggressive hybrid fund fell less than the index, then we say that the fund has got downside protection. And so we calculate the consistency in such downside protection over all those 3-year periods for which we calculated the return for. So if you look at the downside protection, again, I've chosen a downside protection of 70% and above. And this is fairly wonderful downside protection. You can see that 78%, 86%, 72%, and so on. So you can pause the screen. I'll show you similar graphs for 4 and 5 years. So you can pause the screen and have a look at that. And I think it's fantastic. Some of those funds are well known. ICICI Prudential Equity and Debt Fund is well known. Franklin India Hybrid Fund is part of my Plumbline handpicked mutual fund list. This is a list that I curate on a qualitative basis. So that also I will link. And other funds are also reasonably well known. This is the data over 4 years, the same kind of data. For 3-year periods, we had 700 plus data points. For 4-year periods, we have about 470 plus data points or 470 data points. Again, we look for 70% minimum outperformance consistency in terms of return and 70% of downside protection consistency. Again, all the funds have comfortably bet that. That's fantastic. This is over 5 years. Since we are looking at data only from January 1st, 2013, there are only about 230 or so data points. Well, that's not much, but it's still something. But within that short period, these funds have a wonderful track record against the Nifty 100. So over 3 years, 4 years, and 5 years, these 11 funds have outperformed the Nifty 100 TRI consistently enough, and that's fantastic. So these are the 11 funds. And you can study more about these funds, look at their scheme information document, and learn more about them. So you can do these kind of analysis within like 2-3 minutes. You can get such funds which have consistently bet an index within 2-3 minutes using the Free Fincal mutual fund screener. So please download it and have a play around with it and let me know what you think. And I'll catch you again in another video. Bye bye.